Hey guys, welcome back. It's your brother in Christ, Weston. Thanks for joining me today. So today's articles come out of End Times headlines. Let's get into it. Okay, I heard it from a previous pastor that I used to go to his church. He's a podcaster now. His name's Tim Ross, and he made a good point. He just said something very short. He said, "There's no such thing in the Bible as a moral failure in terms of the language used as a moral failure." And I thought to myself, I was like, yeah, there's not. We can categorize something as a moral failure. When we categorize that, when we say that in Christianese, we really mean that somebody has had sex or an affair outside of their marriage, and or something that is in some kind of sexually abusive relationship that is done with somebody who is not has not agreed, or they are underage. And so yeah, let's there's two articles here, and I don't like to harp on the church because I know the church is a mess, and it's going to be a mess because we need Christ. We always need Christ in our lives, but the way that the churches have been as of lately, something is coming out every other week. And so let's read. It says here, two articles: developing Baltimore megachurch launching investigation after dozens allege childhood sex hurting others. I don't want to put those words together because I think YouTube might flag that. I'm not sure. So let's just read right quick. It says, Greater Grace World Outreach, a global non-denominational evangelical megachurch headquartered at Greater Grace Church in Baltimore, Maryland, has pledged to commission an independent investigation after dozens of former members say they were sexually hurt and mistreated as kids, primarily by prominent male church members or leaders. Now, why is that important? Because men are visual, right? So just it's clear as day, men are visual. Women can be that way too, but that's not the norm for them. Men are most certainly visual. I see something, my brain then takes it in, and I want to develop this is just as graphic as it sounds. My brain wants to develop an imagination where I am pulling apart these clothes of a woman or anything like that, and I'm starting to go into this place that is actual sin in my mind, because I'm dwelling and thinking about committing adultery, and I'm committing adultery here, right? If you look at a woman with flesh, you've committed adultery. That's what men do. That's a private sin that you can't even see until it's acted out, because it first starts in the heart, and it starts in the eyes, it gets into the heart and the mind, and then it forces its way out. If you don't control it and don't get that sin under control, submit it to the Lord and getting accountability and help. But you're going to see here prominent male church members. Prominent meaning they probably had some kind of status. They probably used their title and or their name to swindle or coerce or be persuasive in some way, form, or fashion that says it is okay, or God told me this, or some disgusting thing that is used to coerce people into doing sexual acts. And that they are doing this with minors, which is even worse, right? It goes to show just how evil a person can be even after they're saved. They can commit atrocities that are not good. And that is because we are not submitting ourselves to the Lord, and we are not being held accountable. We are not in community. We are, some secret sin has come up. We are ashamed to talk about a certain sin. We're ashamed to talk about sin and our own issues that would somehow shine a light on our issues. Like, I had anger issues at one point, and I still feel like some anger wants to show up in me sometime, and I have to work through that and go through all kinds of things. I used to be a corn addict, and I'm no longer am, but I can't look at things with my eyes, or my mind wants to start going places with it. And that's just me being extremely vulnerable and saying, pray for me in this area. I need help in this area. Those come from traumas and things in my life, and I have to deal with this at some point. I can't just play victim forever. Let's continue. It says, as a church staff and community of believers, our hearts are grieved at the thought of anyone who was ever a part of this church could have been victim of sexual abuse. That abuse of anyone, especially children, is sinful, abhorrent, and reprehensible. Yes, and it is. It is vile, period. Church elders stated in a recent announcement, we are committed to addressing the situation, hearing from victims and families, ensuring we have the safest possible environment possible to minister to adults and children. They added, the church hired a nationally recognized independent firm with expertise in dealing with sexual abuse and conduct a thorough investigation. It's a 4-part investigative series What else? Yeah, and there's a lot here. I don't want to go. I have another article to go over. It says right here, pastor ousted from Chuck Swindoll's mega church due to moral failure. This is a community church in Frisco, Texas, Stonebriar Community Church. He's been ousted. Dallas reported that Tony Camarota was fired from his position at mega church, a pastor there for 17 years. I guess the head pastor. Or he was a pastor. He's deeply remorseful, confessed to the church leadership of a moral failure. He's deeply remorseful, but his sin disqualifies him from serving on staff as a pastor, and it does. It most certainly does. And please guard against giving the devil any foothold for damage to our church through unnecessary speech or speculation. The sad day, we do not want the devil making it worse than though through any one of us the days ahead. After much prayer and seeking God's direction, discussions as leaders, talking to Tony, we have terminated his employment effective immediately. And this stuff's going to continue to happen. We had Tony Evans, we had T.D. Jakes, we had Robert Morris, we had Hillsong years ago. There's something that's happening in the lives and in the church of mega church. Something's happening. It's probably happening in small churches as well. You may not see it, but regardless, there's something going wrong in American churches and how we are stewarding our time, our talents, our gifts, our callings in a big setting like this where we are glorifying and overlooking the sin that needs to be discussed. So anyways, I'll make a part 2 of this. I got to get out of here right now because I got some things I got to do. Love you guys. If you like the video, be sure to like the video. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Comment down below. Let's discuss about this. This is a very important topic, and I'll make a part 2. Talk to you later.